Hello everyone, there we go, looking at the camera. This is Mike Sulecki, in case you didn't know. I sent out a link, and I have one hopefully in the description here. I'm new at this YouTube thing. With the complete Arbans book, which I called the Trumpet Bible. It's this giganto thing here. And my cover's off. I've been working on this for at least 15 years. So this should hopefully keep us busy over the break. All you trumpet players out there are in luck. What I want to give you folks a little idea of was one of my favorite things to do, and that is working on double tonguing. So in my book, this is page 175. It starts with number 77, and if you look real close, this was my homework assignment in 2007. So I've been working on this stuff for a long time. And the name of the game is Slow and Steady. As we get to more difficult, more advanced music, double tonguing comes in really handy. The interesting thing about this book is that it starts off teaching you triple tonguing first, and then it goes into double tonguing, but that's kind of weird. So we'll just do double tonguing first. Yeah, and it should be kind of obvious to find it's got a big double tonguing on the top of the page. But it comes in really handy if we play some really fancy stuff, like whole second suite in F. That kind of stuff. That's how the tune actually starts. And so they're really counting on trumpets to play really fast. If we single tongued everything, if we went 2-2-2-2-2, it would sound a little bit like that. We get all tongue-tied and it wouldn't sound as good. So what I'm actually doing is I'm playing all of my notes with either a 2 or a coup. I'm just alternating between those two. The first one, 2. Normal articulation that we start from day one, right? And then we have a coup, which if you just say the word coo, 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 like someone who's cuckoo in the head like me, you have your tongue bouncing off almost the back of the inside of your mouth. I don't want to show you all my gross teeth, so I won't demonstrate that. But listen to this. And it feels supremely weird the first time you do it. It is the most uncomfortable thing ever. But you want to do it so slow and so gradually that they sound exactly the same. 2, coo, 2, coo. And mine still aren't exactly the same, so I got to keep working on this stuff too. Luckily, we have time to practice. So if I took something like this first example right here, all it has, that puppy down there, all it has is a bunch of 16th notes and then 1/8. You can take this as slow as you want. I recommend taking it literally 1/4 of the speed. If I did the speed that they recommended on here, I'd be going... But that's impossible for anybody to do starting off. So I'm going to go... And what I set my metronome for was 30 beats a minute. And I even have the 8th notes so that they sound slightly different. So when I play it with a metronome, I do something like this. B flat, pointer finger, no middle fingers. And I really like this book for the reason that it's very methodical. What they do is they start off with all the notes being the same, and then they increase the difficulty a little bit. They raise the last note, and then they raise the last note going down. And everything in this whole trumpet Bible is very methodical how they approach it. Then they get you changing to 2 notes. then changing to 3. And the whole time you're double tonguing tuku, 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 all that. So eventually, if you go a couple pages, then you get to all the crazy stuff. That kind of stuff. And that's all double tonguing. So the only drawback of this book is they're very methodical on how they teach everything, except for range. In the beginning, they have you going from low C, our 5th note in beginning band that we learn. And they have you play the same thing. It's all whole notes to get you used to it, but then they just go up in the stratosphere like range isn't even a problem for people growing. That kind of stuff. So if you come to a set of notes or a note in particular that is too high for you, don't worry about it. Honestly, skip it for now. The really important part is getting your tongue to do that tuku action. So if I'm done with 77, instead of and that is me going 30 beats a minute. If I get it going up to 92 beats a minute, it should be this fast. And you might say to yourself, well, those are still half notes. You're absolutely right. Or those are still 8th notes. You're absolutely right. I'm still going half as fast. So then I crank it up and I actually play 16th notes with the same beat, but then I go back down to 30 and work it up again. So they say the recommended range for tempos is 92 beats a minute to 160. So let's pump this puppy up to 160. Ta-ka-ta-ka-ta. That kind of stuff. And then eventually, if you want to get fancy and show off to all your friends. But the moral of the story is start off as slow as you need to play it perfectly. If you take it up one click every single time you're playing it, that is what? If you go from 30 to 160, that is 130 times you'll play it, and the more is always better when you're practicing. If you take it up to the 16th note, geez, that's like double that. So whatever 130 times 2 is. I'm a musician. I can only count to 4, remember. So moral of the story, tuku. As slow as humanly possible, make them sound as even as possible. Make it sound the same so that someone who's listening to you practice says, okay, you're just tonguing all those like a normal person. Don't make it go. And it definitely will sound like that when you start. Don't panic. Keep working on it and always let the air do the work. Thank you very much and have a great day.